Culture is.
Culture is.
Culture is.
La culture, c'est.
Culture is. 문화란.
Culture is.
Culture is. 文化是
Culture is.
Culture is.
Culture is.
Culture is sort of what makes up everyone and how people act around other things and how they dress, music, arts, everything.
Culture, I think, is who you are as a person and how you live your everyday life and the values that you take from other people and like around the world, and how you dress and what you eat and how you live your life.
Culture is traditional things. It makes people learn different stuff.
I define culture as something somebody believes in. It's different it varies from different families and people. So like my culture is different from your culture, as my culture is different from my mother's culture.
Culture is a set of traditions and customs that you're raised with.
I think culture is the family around you, the background you come from, or the religion you follow, or the ethnicity you are, or the type of food you eat, or the type of language you speak, whatever you identify with.
Culture is like what you practice like at your home and the things like that you do with your family and the people from the same country or like that.
The things that you understand about your past and your present.
I think culture is defined by the values that society holds dear to them.
I think culture is like a way of life. Like, I think a style could be a culture. Like the way people act in different situations could be a culture. I think it's like a way of life. It's not just like the physical appearance. I think it's emotional and internal, and all these different aspects makes a culture. Where like I feel like like the culture here is different from my culture at home. It's just like where you surround yourself. Like different places have a different culture.
Where does culture come from? I think it has to do with your background, your ethnicity, your religion, your class, your family customs, rituals.
A culture comes from people's backgrounds and who influences them and their parents and things like that.
Culture comes from your surroundings, but also from yourself. I don't think like it necessarily, like each country has their own culture, yes, but I think it's how you define yourself and what you take from others.
It comes from the people, and kind of like race, gender, sexuality, different values. I mean, it comes from the government, it comes from, all sorts of aspects of life that are true to one certain region and area and territory.
I think cultures come from where your families come, not necessarily like where your country is, but like because within the country there are different cultures from your family. So I think culture defines who you are as a person and like tells like the history of your family.
The culture is coming from probably from where you're born and like your ethnic group is, and probably like trying to express yourself like in like other ways and like as a group of different people.
You don't really learn it. It just happens. It's just there.
History.
School.
Spanish.
French.
You learn about culture everywhere you go. Like, there's like the Stony culture. You come here and you learn that you can't wear writing on your t-shirts or something like that. And it's just kind of like you know it already. It's not like you're actually taught.
For example, table manners, Chinese table manners is really different from American table manners.
I don't really think media, I don't really see that much about culture in the media, so I don't think it influences my view on culture because I don't see anything.
I would say it gives more stereotypes to the media because it gives you, you have to be this way or you have to be that way if you live here, live there, talk this way or just that way. So,
I usually hear hear songs in different language, and also sometimes I will read books in different language, like the same story but in different language.
It allows you to see lots of other cultures other than just your own.
I think media enhances culture. I don't think it defines it.
News. It with all the bombings. Yeah, terrorist attacks.
Media plays a role in everybody's life, but I feel like for the most part, you're in control of your own culture and how you go about doing things in life, I guess.
I think it has a huge influence. I think when you're younger and you haven't developed a critical eye, it really defines what culture is and children's perspectives on groups of people and on difference and that kind of thing.
How do you define culture? 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 How do you define culture How do you define culture?